That's interesting. Okay. I did a post a week or two ago, and I asked which sidebar, social media is a great place to poll your audience and to ask for feedback. It's a great resource for you, and it's underutilized as that. But I knew that I was thinking about creating a little, class or something like this on content. So I wanted to see what was holding people back. So I think I asked people, I gave them options, which the less you ask of people, the better it is. And I said A, B, C, D, or E. And they were options like, I don't know what to say. I don't know why people would be interested in hearing my point of view. And most of the people said all of this, which was crazy to me. So content does not have to be a big, heavy thing. Content, and you can say, well, I didn't know on LinkedIn you could share this kind of stuff. I'm going to tell you, content for me falls in 4 pillars. You can inform, you can educate, you can inspire, or you can entertain. And the last one I give caution to, just because I think it's really difficult to entertain on, you just never know what people find amusing and what they don't. So it's probably not the place for the ridiculous cat memes. But when I say entertain, and I'll give you examples, there's different things here. So let's say that entertaining is a quote that one of your children, if you have younger kids, if one of your kids made that was amazingly kind of like a life lesson, like, wow, that was really insightful. Things like that, you'd say, that was really cute. Could you post what you learned from your child with a picture right now, especially of you and everyone kind of in the schooling and all that? Absolutely. It's having an impact on something that is learned by you from a child. It's kind of cute, and that's kind of entertaining. Inspiring. I'm not a huge fan personally of all the inspirational quotes. There are tons and tons of people that are. They do really well. And so you can post a quote that's motivational or inspirational that means something to you. I've seen a lot during this time, obviously, of, things about grit, things about staying strong, things about together, that we're going to get through this. Absolutely, you can post those things here. You can post to educate. So every Tuesday, I usually, at the very least on Tuesday, I create a Tip Tuesday that I list out almost in checklist or bullet points, if possible. I list out something that you can learn on LinkedIn or social media that I want to give a tip that is of value that people can learn. So information could be, for instance, I posted this that I was speaking today with a link to it saying, hey, it's free. If you're free, join. That's just information. You can do that as well. What I can tell you is back to the, that I did post a link for, and that seems to be fine. Make your own words, So if you're going to give a resource that is educational or informational, put your own words at the top, and not just like, this is blah, 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 but talk about what it is and why it's of value. A statistic that I've read says that when you post, about 12% of your audience, they roll it out to at first. So I don't know if that's surprising to people, but when you post, it doesn't go out to everyone, only about 12%. And let's say,
hey, Jill, we've got a question from Dylan on this topic. When posting those types of quotes, do quotes in image form get more views on LinkedIn?
I think anything in image form does. So not always the case, meaning you don't have to put that quote in the image, because I know like this shouldn't take a lot of time. But if you're, you know what, I take that back. If you posted a quote And then you had kind of a personal why this means so much to you, like a little blurb about how it was personal. Yesterday I went through this and this quote came to mind. That's going to do well. If you posted the quote and you just have an image that is representative, that's fine too. But it doesn't have to be the quote in an image. You don't need to go and have it graphic, do that way. It doesn't need to be that. So I hope that answers it. What it needs to be is personal and why it's personal to you, more than just the quote. Okay. So on the, if you're going to post a link to that, like I said, put up top why it is important to you, or put that link in the first comment. Or if the link has a built-in picture, that's fine to put it in there too. But just say why it's of value. Hashtag it at the end. This is this. Oh, 12%. That's where it is. And so I digress. LinkedIn rolls it out to about 12% of your audience at first. So if it is something like an article, you can count on, of that 12%, only about 3 to 4% actually read the article. So then what happens after it rolls it out to that 12%? It rolls it out, and this is why you always include a blurb about what it's about at the top. It rolls it out to 12%. Let's say people see it and they like it immediately, or someone comments on it. It's going to say, ooh, this is of interest. Why would it be of interest? The algorithm thinks, A, it's relevant. So the algorithm thrives on, number one, relevancy, because people are liking it. Number two, the second most important thing is engagement. It's gotten some engagement. We're going to push it out to more people. So that's how it eventually keeps getting pushed out to people. So what's the best thing if you have something that you, a partner in business, they post something, or someone that you do business with, what's the best thing that you can do for them and for you? It's to comment on it. That's the number one thing. Comments are weighed far heavier than likes or anything like that. And the other thing about that is that LinkedIn calls that dialogue. And that algorithm is based on, thrives on dialogue. So I get this question a lot, or I don't get this question a lot, but I need to tell you it. You do not have to know the person to join in the conversation. How the algorithm works in your feed is, chances are you see something and it's interesting and it's not posted by your first connection. You're seeing it because a first connection liked or commented on it. So I've caught myself over and over, I just see it and it's interesting and I don't know the person and I'm just going to comment on it. Well, I've had a lot of people say, but that's like, I don't know them. That doesn't matter. You comment on it anyway, because chances are, by making an insightful comment, we're accomplishing two things. One is the poster, the author of the post, is probably going to say, well, who is this person that made a like or comment? They're going to take a second. They're going to go check out your profile to see who you are, what you do. This is a plug for, yes, at that point, you need to have a very complete and good profile, and they're going to make a decision in about 2 to 4 seconds whether or not they want to connect with you. And not everyone will want to, and truth be told, I don't want everyone to, but they're going to say, well, does that person have something of value to offer me? So you definitely, the gold is in the comments, liking and commenting, and you don't even have to comment on the actual post. You can comment on another person's comment. I have built a pretty big connection. So an example of that would be someone posted something. It came up in my feed somehow. I saw a young lady in marketing and she commented like, I'm just out of school. I don't really understand this, but blah, blah, blah. No one really commented to her. So I went into her comment and I posted below, hey, I've spent my life in marketing. If you want someone to explain this to you, let's connect and I'll help you understand this. And number one, it's goodwill. Number two, people see it's goodwill. Number three, you can get a connection just like that. So, and I don't mean like that, like snap. I mean, that's simply when someone read the comments. People have questions in the comments. People are looking for expertise in the comments. People are debating in comments. It's a great place to find a network that either you really appreciate what they have to say, you found it insightful, or somewhere that you can offer insight, and a lot of connections are made in the comments. Connect and engage. So you can connect, I get this question a lot, with anyone that you know. That's fine. You can connect with former, current, you can connect with friends, former colleagues, members of organizations, all of that. There is a big group on LinkedIn that says, I connect with everyone. I'm open for connection. Connect with me. And that's great for them. I'm not a type of person that looks to gain, and I'm going to take you why, to just gain connections for connections. I don't want to have vanity metrics that show I have 20,000 followers. That's not important to me. What is important to me is that the right people and people of value I'm connecting with. So why don't I want 20,000 connections if I don't need them? Well, let's think about that. If that algorithm rolls my content out to 12%, it's a very good chance that of those, if I had 20,000 connections, that 12% aren't people that I know, aren't people that are actively on LinkedIn. Maybe they were on at one time and they wanted to connect and now they're not on anymore. Maybe they aren't people that are looking. So I want to really think about who I'm connecting with and how to bring people and what can bring me value before I just randomly put out there that I'm connecting with anyone. Because it isn't about the number, you guys. It doesn't matter. I would rather have 500 solid connections than have 1,000 or 10,000 connections that don't have or aren't active, because it's going to roll out your content and no one's going to see it, no one's going to like it, and it's never going to go anywhere. Does that make sense?
Hey, Jill, we've had a couple of questions roll in.
Yeah.
And maybe one was tips on hashtags.
Yeah.
And then the other one was a little more nuanced from Sarah Crail about the feature of connecting with people in proximity at networking events.
Oh, it's great.
I recently learned of this feature. Just asking if you use that feature.
I do use that feature. It doesn't work right now. Sorry, that was a joke. It doesn't.
Okay.
I do use that feature, Sarah. So I use, she is talking about a feature that, if you don't know, that you go to LinkedIn, you turn on your Bluetooth. It'll tell you to do that anyways if it's not on your phone. You go to LinkedIn, you go to My Network, and at the bottom of My Network, on the bottom right side, there's a little person and a plus sign. You click that and it says Find Nearby. And you use that in a setting when if we had been doing this in person, we could have used this. And when it finds nearby, it finds all of the people nearby that are also doing this that you can connect with. So Sarah, let me give you a good example of when I use that. I'm in a group, or I frequent a networking group that I find a lot of value in. It's called Linking Indie Women, I think. And it's once a month on a Wednesday morning, I think the third Wednesday of the month. And I like to go there because they have a speaker, and it's really early. It's at 7:30 in the morning. I put it on there and I use it. And let's say I have 20 other people that I've not connected with on there. But what you do with it then is different. So let's say you're in a room, you put it all in, and you link with 20 people on LinkedIn. Here's how I handle it differently though. Later that day, I'll go home. I will go through those 20 people that you can see requested you because they were on or you requested, and I will send a note out to each of them that says something like, hey, I know you were at Indie Women, Linking Indie Women this morning. We didn't get a chance to meet. I thought the speaker was great. I hope in the future, let's make a plan to like say hello to each other at next month, right? So it's not enough just to link with them. It is, But if you really want to take it to that next level, you send them a note and say, hey, I was there. We didn't get to chat. Let's make it a point to say hello to each other next time. Number one, you're starting a conversation. So I send a message to everyone. I try to do it within 3 days of everyone that connects with me or reaches out to connect. Even if it's just, hey, hope you're doing well. We're not selling. We are not selling. We are not selling. I'm saying that 3 times. You're never trying to sell someone or to tell someone what you're doing. You're just reaching out to connect, which right now is so simple. So right now I send a note, just like I would do with that feature, that just says, hey, it would say, hey, Ryan, thanks for reaching out to connect. If I can be of any service, you can let me know. I look forward to seeing any of the content you post. Hope you and your family are hoping you and yours are staying well during this. Hope you and yours are well. I would say that starts a conversation usually for at least 70% of most people reply. And that's ultimately what you want to do on LinkedIn, is think of it as just conversation starters. That's all that this is. The second question was about hashtags. Hashtags work a little differently on LinkedIn than they do on Instagram. And I would tell you that if you want to hashtag, which you should, your post, it's the only way you'll get a trending post. What does it mean when a post trends? It's going to say Jill Potasnik's post was trending on hashtag LinkedIn because I used the LinkedIn hashtag. So what does that do? It sends a notification to your entire network, which is another view of you. It's positioning you as credible, an expert, thought leader. So how do you know what to use? I would really encourage you to take some time to do, and I have some of it, and you're welcome to email me or connect with me, because I actually had the soon to be 15-year-old start a hashtag spreadsheet that shows what hashtags are doing well, because it's changed a lot in the last 3 months. So think of hashtags as what others are searching for, not what you're looking to say. So a lot of times, if I do a Tip Tuesday, my hashtags, hashtag LinkedIn, hashtag LinkedIn tips, and then usually another relevant hashtag to what it's about. So again, we want relevancy, but take the time one day, if you have 20 minutes to spare, just go in and do hashtags in your industry and see what comes up. You'll be surprised. So I thought in all of this, virtual connection would be a good one. It probably has like 200 people that are following virtual connection. So that one probably isn't as good as hashtag networking, which I don't know off the top of my head, but probably has 7,000 to 10,000 people following networking, which then you have something like leadership, which has 3 million. So I would choose a big one. It doesn't have to be that big, a bigger one, a middle one, and a smaller one. I can tell you that when I end up trending, it's for me usually in the ones that have maybe 20,000 people following it, because the bigger the hashtag, the smaller fish you're going to be there. I hope that makes sense. I could do a whole hour on that.
Yes, I know it's 1:23 right now, so we're closing our time. We do have some more questions that are rolling in.
Let's go to those.
So if you want to just go to the questions, or if you want to continue going through the content, I'll kind of leave that to.
I've talked about a lot. Engaging on others is the secret sauce. I talked about personal invitations, which we talked about. We talked about when you request to connect, sending out a message. Do not pitch cold via email. Go to the questions. I'm happy to do that.
Yeah, so kind of connected. The first one is about connecting from Susie. Does unconnecting with someone negatively affect me in any way?
Nope. So you have a couple of options here. And Susie, why? Well, unconnecting does not. First of all, I say it's weeding your garden. I'm going to show you a couple of other things. Because if I was an early adopter in the early 2000s, chances are no. And if you're trying to weed it, maybe you accepted everyone at one time and you want to clean it up for that, it's fine. The other thing that I'm going to tell you is this. Can you see my screen? Yeah. That when you go here and you click those three dots, you get options. So a couple of options you have. You can unfollow someone without unlinking to them. So why would you do that? Well, I have people that post, connect with those, I don't know if you see them. They're like, go around and they're like, 1, like this post, 2, connect with me, 3, say you're open for connections. And they are just looking to get more connections. I unfollow those. They don't bring me value. So why do I unfriend people? I unfriend or unconnect with, in whatever the word would be, with people because a couple of reasons. Maybe they're not active. I've never seen them on there. They're not active, and that's junking up, for lack of a better word. That's junking up my network. So I go back to that. If it's going to roll it out to 12%, I don't want it to roll it out to someone that's never on it. So you know, people that are never on, or I've never seen on there, or never do anything, I should go through more and, you know, not connect with them. The other reason I connect is because I'm offended at some of the things that they've posted, which is very rare. But, you know, I had someone that was really using this as a forum to debate politics with people, and that's not something that I want to see on here. And I found some of the back and forth to be just I wasn't commenting, but I didn't need to see it, and it really wasn't doing me any good. So I did that. So yes, you can unfollow overall. When you go into your network, my network on the top, you can see this, people I follow, because you could follow people otherwise. You can see, you know, hashtags that you follow as well, your connections. And when you click there, you can go to someone and just right click and unfollow. Other questions did you see, Ryan?
Yeah, kind of along those same lines. There are 2 questions. What do you do with someone you don't know wants to connect with you? Kind of especially in your light of your comment about quality versus quantity. Then along similar lines, do you ever recommend blocking someone?
Okay. Blocking, okay, a couple things with that. Blocking, I just don't care enough to block someone unless they were personally like harassing or doing something like that. I feel like this is different than Facebook, meaning I feel people handle it differently. I know people who have blocked people because they, for lack of a better word, troll on their posts or are negative or things like that, and they've just blocked. Absolutely fine to do doing that. So how do I decide? So, and I'm gonna use these poor people that I don't know probably, but I'm gonna go through, and here's the other thing, and think about this in reverse for yourself too. So out of all of these, I don't know, this morning, then the first thing I see is not one of them has sent me a message along with it. And I'm not gonna not connect with them because of that, but I'm just saying the practice, and it's probably the best practice you could do, is just to send a quick, like, hi, we're in the same group. Hi, I saw you did this. I like this, whatever it is. So send a message, number 1. Number 2, why wouldn't I connect? So the first thing, and I don't do this for like everyone, but I see that I'm connected in common with a lot of people, for most of them. Sometimes that works against. If I see that they're connected to like 300 of the same contacts, I'm gonna maybe know that they are looking to gain different things. But I post on here, I click on her before I accept it, which I have to tell you guys, I think it's common courtesy too, to look and see what someone does. There are a lot of times someone will connect and then they'll send me a message saying, what do I do? And I'm thinking, well, why didn't you then why did you connect with me if you didn't even like look at my profile or know what it is? So I look here, I go down, and she's got great things featured, but more than anything, if you ever are suspect, I don't do this with everyone, is that I go into her activity and I see what she does. So I see that she posts, and the first thing I see is someone did her headshot that I know, right? And the next thing I see is that, you know, she's posting some fun, different things. I don't need a mask necessarily, but do I find any of it offensive? Absolutely not. So I'm going to connect with her. She's active. She's on there. And if I had the over under on it, is she probably going to reach out to me about a mask? Probably. I'm not going to enjoy that, but I can probably still connect with someone like that. I will say that I've connected with people and I get weird messages from people. Just because you connected with someone, if you get a creepy message, you can unconnect with someone. You know, just because you did it first doesn't mean that you can't. So I've got a post that was a few days ago, Ryan, I don't know if you saw it, but like this guy that I connected with left a really, really long, creepy type comment about, you look good without makeup, you look good with makeup, you look good. Like, I didn't respond to it, but like, I don't need that. So can I go, and if I wanted to, disconnect? Sure. Just because I recently connected with them. And that would be another reason for like blocking. If something makes you uncomfortable, it's, just don't worry about, I think we worry about offending people too much. What other questions?
Yeah, so that answered all the questions that have rolled in so far. It's right about top of the hour. So any other questions rolling out there?
I have so much I could say. So please ask, how many times should you post a week? It doesn't matter. I can tell you my FAQs that I get. It doesn't really matter as long as you're consistently on there. If you can do it 1 or 2 a week, do 1 or 2 a week. The algorithm works like Facebook's algorithm did in the very beginning, where you see what people like. Your posts will stay around for more than 24 hours if you're getting engagement. The other thing about your posts, and most of us that are on here a lot know this, when someone comments, like, thank you so much for sharing, respond back to that comment. It is probably the second most important thing you can do, other than going and commenting on other stuff. Say, hey, thanks for reading it. Of course, you're welcome. Whatever it is, comment back. So think about everything you do on here. If you're really wanting to connect and kind of convert things into relationships, the key to your visibility is going to be your conversations too. So take a minute when you do that, when you're going to see, did anyone like this? And say, hey, thanks for that, or thanks for this comment, or doing that. It really will make a difference. And every time you can, just think of it as starting a conversation. That's all you're doing. FAQ, so post when you want. It doesn't have to be multiple times, 5 days a week. It just needs to be consistent. Can you ask another connection to introduce you? Absolutely. I had yesterday a connection of mine, put someone that they're connected to on an email and just said, hey, I thought you two would really enjoy getting to know each other. She does this, she does that. Do it for people if you see that. And you can ask too, which I've been asked, hey, I saw that so-and-so at this company is in your network. Do you feel comfortable, introducing me? And if I don't know that person and that person's just like someone that's in and out, I'd say no. In this case, I know the person personally and said, absolutely, I'll make a connection. That's what this is all about, that's underutilized.
Julia, another question come in. What's your opinion about using automated software to help manage, presumably like Buffer or Hootsuite?
Okay, I thought you were talking about something else. Julia, I could see your smile. So
maybe I am talking about something else.
Okay, so there's a couple of different things. So let's talk about 2 different things. Using Buffer to post your posts, or a CRM that has that built in, is perfectly fine. I think that things do better when you post it, not just post it yourself, but when you comment back. That's the thing. Make sure you're on there commenting back when people are commenting. So if you just load a week's worth of stuff up in a Buffer or a Hootsuite and post it, and then never look at it again, it's not going to do as well for you as if you are in there and actively yourself posting. Now, I've got, my software is professional software for what I do. So I have the ability to comment through my software. I don't use the software for me, but for my clients I do, and that's fine too, as long as you have a way to go through and comment back. I happen to think that everything does better when it's posted organically. So if you, here's an alternative, like little hack that I do. So for my own, if I want to post something that is important to me, I usually, no matter what I do, I batch my work out. Let's say I think about it when I'm driving, and so I'm like talking out loud. I go home and I write the post, and in my email, I have a folder that says LI, a folder that says FB, whatever. And I put that post in a LinkedIn folder for later. So then I just copy and paste and I put it on LinkedIn directly rather than even using Buffer or Hootsuite or something like that. You can. If your question was, what do I think about the automated programs that say they're going to connect with a bunch of people for you and do it very quickly with, you put the message in a standard message, I'm not a fan of the automating that. So I still go back to people buy from people, and we need to think about what we're saying. So I probably get out of these, I don't know, there's 10 there, I approved 17 earlier. So let's say I get an average of 10 or an average of 20 to 30 requests a day. I set apart time at night and I literally go through, I go to my network and I go through here to your connections, and it does not take long. I literally go through and I message everyone just with that thanks for connecting, hope you're staying well message, and it takes 20 minutes of my night. And right now, I think we all have probably 20 minutes or 2 sets of 10 that we can give up just to do that. You can copy and paste that message and put their name in it. But I think that things like that are going to, with the algorithm and everything else, going to make a bigger difference for you than the automated company doing it for you. And I mean, I want to see who I'm connecting with. So I hope that answers that, because I know that there's a lot of companies right now that are offering to find you prospects and do that for you. If you are looking just to connect with everyone and everything and mass prospects, then maybe that's for you. If you're looking to really think about it, then I would say do it yourself.
Well, no, that's we were scheduled till 1:30. I think, is that right, John?
Yeah, it was. I mean, obviously, if people still have questions, but I mean, this was some great stuff by Jill. I really appreciate it. So, but yeah, 1:30 is about when we were scheduled to be done.
Yeah. Jill, what's the best way for people to connect with you or get in touch with you with questions afterwards?
Okay.
Oh man,
So
my internet is fading.
you can connect with me. Are you fading? Are you there? You can connect with me on LinkedIn.
Yeah,
LinkedIn social media marketing coach. Are you there?